The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. Our all in alls, the saviors, the protectors, the unifiers, the messiahs, the king of queens, the most loud. Abdurrahman Chiani, Assimi Waiter, our generals, and Captain Ibrahim Traore have decided to hit Ecowas where it hurts most. We know that Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso decided to move out of the Ecowas bloc officially this year, 2025, and form the alliance of AES. They made it clear to Ecowas the reason to which they don't want to be part of the gentleman club, as Julius Malema will always refer to them. According to them, Ecowas is not serving the interests of the people, and for that reason they do not want to belong to an organization that will be for the interests of the West. We know that these people are paying colonial taxes for decades now, and Ecowas hasn't been able to do anything to help their member states from paying these colonial taxes to France. These people are milking these nations and enriching themselves. And these things that we expect that ECOWAS will rise up and fight against are the things that ECOWAS is rather silent about. But when Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso decided to rise up and fight oppression, we saw that ECOWAS was very quick in fighting their brothers for the benefit of Yellow Popo. So these are the reasons to which Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso decided to move out of the gentleman club. Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso decided to introduce a 0.5% levy on goods and services that are not coming from Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, that are coming from outside of AES countries. This shows power. Africans, it is high time we decide to show these people the strength that we got. We don't know how ECOWAS is going to react concerning this, and we know very well that no matter the matter, these people will definitely come out with something to counter these AES countries' decision that they have taken. These people are taking or doing everything without any fear. They are ready for any consequences that will come from the ECOWAS bloc. And we know Yellow Popo will never allow them to let this thing go. In the midst of these things that they are asking AES to come back into the bloc, and they are introducing taxes on goods and services, we don't know how ECOWAS is going to respond, but they will definitely do something that will please the oppressor.
These three nations, united under the banner of the Alliance of Sahel States, AES, have now unleashed a new weapon in their arsenal of liberation: a 0.5% levy on imports from the Economic Community of West African States, Ecowas member states. Yes, you heard that right. Our brothers and sisters in the Sahel are not just talking freedom, they're seizing it with both hands, brick by brick, tax by tax, and levy by levy. Let's set the stage, for this is no small matter. For decades, nay centuries, West Africa has groaned under the weight of colonial oppression, its wealth siphoned off to fatten the coffers of foreign powers, while our people languished in poverty. The colonial tax agreement with France, a relic of exploitation dressed up as partnership, has been nothing short of a chokehold on our economic destiny. Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, with their eyes wide open and their spirits unbroken, saw through the facade. Earlier this year, they jointly declared an end to this parasitic arrangement, boldly stating that these payments, crippling burdens disguised as debts, have stunted West Africa's growth, deepened inequality, and made Africans poorer while the West grew richer on our backs. That decision alone sent shockwaves through the corridors of Paris and Brussels, a defiant cry that echoed across the continent: "We will no longer be your cash cows." But they didn't stop there. Oh no, my people, these lions of the Sahel are roaring louder than ever. On March 28, 2025, the AES heads of state, Colonel Assimi Goïta of Mali, Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, and General Abdourahmane Chiani of Niger, sat down and hammered out a decision that's nothing short of revolutionary. They've introduced the Confederal Levy, PCAES, a 0.5% charge on goods entering their bloc from outside countries, particularly targeting imports from Ecowas states. This isn't just a tax, it's a declaration of financial independence, a lifeline to fund the operations of the AES, and a middle to the neo-colonial structures that have kept us tethered for too long. According to a statement from Mali's foreign ministry on March 29th, This levy will be collected by customs authorities in each country and funneled into a special AES account. Some goods, like those produced within the bloc, humanitarian aid and diplomatic shipments, are exempt, showing a pragmatic streak in their boldness. And to keep things above board, the funds will face annual audits and financial reports. This isn't reckless defiance, it's calculated, disciplined and visionary. Now let's talk about what this means, because this isn't just about numbers, it's about power, pride and the future of our continent. The AES, birthed in September 2023 as a security pact and solidified into a confederation in July 2024, is no longer content to simply defend its borders from jihadist threats. It's now flexing its economic muscles, and this levy is the spark that could ignite a revolution across Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger. Picture this, millions of dollars flowing into AES coffers every year. Estimates suggest anywhere from $3 million to $10 million annually for Mali and Burkina Faso alone, depending on trade volumes. That's money for roads, schools, hospitals and armies. Money that stays in Africa, for Africans, instead of being shipped off to fund French wine cellars or European museums. This is self-reliance in action, a rejection of the begging bowl mentality that the West has forced upon us. These three nations, long dismissed as some of the world's poorest, are saying, we will build our own destiny, and we'll do it with our own resources. And make no mistake, this is another devastating blow to the West. France, that old colonial master, is already reeling from the expulsion of its troops from Mali in 2022, Burkina Faso in 2023, and Niger later that year. The end of the colonial tax was a gut punch, stripping away a steady stream of revenue it had no right claim. Now, with the AES imposing this levy, the West's economic grip on the Sahel is slipping further. Ecowas, once a shining beacon of regional unity, has been exposed as a tool of Western influence, too often dancing to the tune of Paris and Washington instead of serving the people of West Africa. The AES's exit from Ecowas in January 2025 was a rupture that shook the bloc to its core, and this levy doubles down on that fracture. It's a message to the West. Your days of dictating our trade, our politics, and our future are over. So who stands to benefit more, Ecowas or the AES? Let's break it down. Ecowas, with its 12 remaining members, still boasts heavyweights like Nigeria and Ghana, and it controls a $702 billion trade market. But the loss of Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger, 76 million people and over half the bloc's landmass, has left it wounded. This levy could shrink ECOWAS's export revenues, especially for Nigeria, which sent $254 million worth of goods to the AES trio in recent years. Higher costs from the 0.5% tax might make Nigerian exports less competitive, pushing buyers in the Sahel to look elsewhere, or better yet, to produce more locally within the AES. Ecowas might cling to its free trade schemes and open borders, but without the AES states, its dream of seamless economic integration is crumbling. The bloc's leaders are scrambling, offering olive branches and 6-month grace periods. But the AES isn't blinking. They're building their own table instead of begging for a seat at someone else's. The AES, on the other hand, is playing a high-stakes game, and it's winning. This levy isn't just about revenue, it's about control. By taxing Ecowas imports, they're protecting their infant industries, encouraging local production, and reducing reliance on coastal nations for access to ports. Sure, there are risks, higher consumer prices, potential trade retaliation, and the challenge of enforcing the levy across porous borders rife with informal trade. But the payoff could be transformative. Imagine Burkina Faso's gold mines, Mali's cotton fields, and Niger's uranium deposits fueling a self-sustaining economy unshackled from foreign middlemen. The AES is already rolling out biometric passports, a new flag, and plans for a common currency to ditch the France-backed CFA franc. This levy is the financial backbone of that vision, a step toward a confederation that could one day rival ECOWAS itself. And let's not kid ourselves, these nations have become unstoppable. In recent years, Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger have taken bold moves that are shaking the continent to its core and giving the West sleepless nights. It started with the coups, 2020 in Mali, 2022 in Burkina Faso, 2023 in Niger, military takeovers fueled by a righteous fury against corrupt, Western-backed elites who failed to stem jihadist violence or lift their people out of poverty. Then came the expulsion of French troops, a rejection of the colonial overlord that had propped up its influence with bases and drones while insecurity spiralled. The Wagner Group and Russian advisors rolled in, not as saviours, but as partners offering guns and training on terms the AES could stomach. The exit from Ecowas was the next domino, a middle finger to a bloc they accused of bowing to foreign powers. And now this Levy, another brick in the wall of resistance they're building against neo-colonialism. These moves aren't just bold, they're a blueprint. Across Africa, eyes are turning to the Sahel. Young people in Senegal, Ghana and Cameroon are cheering, waving AES flags and dreaming of leaders with the guts to say no to the West. The streets of Bamako, Ouagadougou and Niamey are alive with a new energy, pride, defiance and hope. The AES is proving that sovereignty isn't a gift bestowed by outsiders, it's a fire you stoke yourself. And as they stoke that fire, the West is sweating, France's economic leverage is evaporating, its military footprint erased. The European Union, once a smug dispenser of aid with strings attached, is watching its influence erode. Even the United States, with its lingering troops in Niger, is on shaky ground as the AES pivots eastward to Russia, Turkey and Iran. But this isn't just about the West, it's about us. The AES's revolution could spark a domino effect, inspiring other African nations to rethink their alliances, their currencies and their futures. If Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger, landlocked, resource-rich and battle-hardened, can pull this off, who's next? Will Chad join the AES as whispers from 2024 suggested? Will Guinea, already a diplomatic ally, take the plunge? The continent is watching and the old guard is trembling. This levy isn't just a tax, it's a rallying cry.
Now, Ecowas will be waiting for directives from Yellow Popo as to what to do next to Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso. This is what we always expect the African leader to do. You should be bold, like the Sierra Leone lady would say, their hands are tied. When you do outside of what they ask you to do, you will get them using the opposition against you. Be willing to stand firm as a leader. That is the problem with the African leaders. They don't want to be bold. There's always fear in every decision that we want to take. But Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso are not doing this. If after stopping the colonial tax payment to France and they're introducing their own taxes, this should tell you the kind of leaders that we have in Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso. These are the kind of leaders that the continent need to lead. Because these are men who are bold and they will stand up to every situation no matter what it might be and the consequences. African leaders are only ready for the soft and the easy way out, and that is the reason to which the African continent is still where it is. We are not moving forward because these people have everything that it takes to always get the African leader to be where they want the African leader to be. They know how to weaken the African leader. If it were to be this democratic elected, they will not be able to even say no to the colonial taxes, and that was why these three nations were still paying, and the current ones that are still paying who are not willing to move out of the colonial chains, expecting that one day France will wake up and say we will no longer take the taxes from you. Enough. Until then, they will keep paying. But Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso decided to say no, and today they are introducing their own taxes. If you want to do business, if you want to bring your do this like Trump is doing. Trump is saying American first, our people first. When all these things are taken from their individual countries, they will now send the money into the AES accounts, and this will be used to make sure the country develops. We always say that we want to generate income in Africa to help us develop the continent, and that is why we've allowed these people to come into the continent and be roaming wherever in the name of tourism. Yet the money that we get, we don't know what we are using this money for. These people are not playing, they are not joking. They are showing us levels in leadership, and they are showing the corrupt and the democratic elected ones how to be a leader. As a leader, you should be willing to accept every situation. You are like a military person, and that is why they say you are the chief in command of the armed force. So if you as the chief, you are scared, then how will you lead your people? And that is why Africa, we are not moving forward as a people, and we continue to be where we are, always singing and dancing to the tune of the oppressor. But these people are saying no to colonialism. They have really shown us that they are free, and they want to be free, and they will fight for the freedom that they've taken for themselves, leaving these ones that are still calling them to come back into slavery, because they enjoy being slaves. They don't want to be free. And when they even see somebody who is becoming free and who is fighting for freedom, they don't really know why the person should be doing that. If not, if we are saying individually we can't fight these people, and we've gotten a group of 3 who have boldly come out to fight, why are we not teaming up? And we have gotten people who said, I am defending my country and I pledge and promise to do everything to protect my country. Yet this person is allowing himself to now be the mediator between Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso and Ecowas. So now we don't even know whether he's for Ecowas. You know, you can never be under the systems that these people created, and you'll be able to do anything meaningful for your country, because these people who created the systems will never allow you to do what is right for your people. As the leaders in ECOWAS are busy talking about how these people should come into the ECOWAS bloc for them to help them fight insecurity, yet their countries are being faced with the insecurity. These people are showing them leadership. They are showing them dimensions and what a leader should be doing for his people and the liberation of his people. It's not about talking. These leaders hardly talk. It's their works that talks for them. Unlike the democratic elected ones, that every opportunity that they get, they want to make noise for the whole world to see that they are around. Yet they do little for their people. We are very happy and grateful that in this our generation, we are seeing Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, Assimi Goïta, Abdurrahman Tchiani, our generals, and Captain Ibrahim Traoré doing the amazing things to safeguard the continent and proving to us that the African is capable of managing his own affairs. So we are hoping that as these people are busy calling Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso back into the ECOWAS bloc, they would rather go and join them to do the amazing things that they are doing. At least tap into the knowledge so that we'll see a better Africa that we are looking for. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. So let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make African great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world, in Africa, West Africa, and in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso.